everyone,
Hello!
and welcome to Kirsty and Bryony's Comfort Zone.
I am Kirsty.
And I am Bryony, and we are going to be diving into the world of dreams and splashing off to cool down. Splashing off? Splashing? Is that splashing around
in the dreams?
In a nice cool dream pool. Yeah, we're both, I swear there's like 2 weeks every year where people just have to listen to British people complain
about the heat.
But these are those weeks.
Yeah. It's pretty warm.
I guess the 2 episodes every year where it's just, cannot function. It's very much been affecting my dreams and my sleep as well.
Yeah, me too. I'm just
it's sort
not
of
dreaming. When it's hot, no dream.
Yeah.
Only sweat.
I just have sweat and confusion.
Yeah.
That's all I have. Like, I've been having dreams, but it's the sort of dreams where you wake up and you're just like, what's happening?
Whoa.
Like, I didn't record this one, but I had the most me dream I've ever had the other day, where I was on stage with the Longest Johns. Although they weren't actually there in the dream at all, but I somehow knew it was them. But I was in a bed, but imagine being in, those bouncy things that you put babies in and they're stood up, but they're being held up.
Kind of like the ones who attach to door frames.
Yeah. It's like I was in one of those, but it was also a bed. So I was in a bed, but upright, but dangling. And that was apparently how the Longest Johns were doing their stage show, I guess. And then it all got interrupted because all of a sudden all these wrestlers burst onto the stage because their fight had spilled over onto the stage.
Oh my God.
And all I remember about them was that they were when people do that thing in swimming pools where 2 people go on 2 other people's shoulders.
Yeah.
And they fight like that. It was like that, but it was a stack of wrestlers, 3 wrestlers tall, and they were just fighting. And I was just like, oh my gosh, I can't believe they're interrupting this gig. I finally got to go up on stage, and now this. And yeah, I woke up and I was just like, what's happening? But it's just been stuff like that, little snippets of things that I guess because you get out of bed so quickly when it's warm because you just want to go somewhere cooler. That it's not really I don't really sit and
think about
stew in the dream juice as much. I'm just up and ready.
Yeah, that's the thing. I think my sleep it's not been patchy so much. I'm sleeping all through the night, but when it's hot, I just find that I don't really dream as much. Or maybe I just don't remember my dreams. I think there have been a couple, but I've just not been remembering them very much, which, isn't very out of the ordinary for me right now. But it's even worse when it's hot. Even worse.
I think I've also there's just been a lot of strange noises happening throughout the night. I don't know if it's because other people have been unsettled by the heat, but there was just a scraping noise that was setting a dog off barking the other night. And then I woke up, it must have been about 5 a.m. This is not an exaggeration. I think there were about 1,000 seagulls.
I mean, that's classic Bristol, really, though.
They were all just kicking off.
That's just Bristol.
It was just waking up and all I could hear was just wow, 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 wow. But just loads of it. And I was just it's every seagull in the world has just come to my neighborhood to scream.
I have got, they do it every now and then, but the last 2 nights in a row, there's been a fox going at it outside. Yeah. And I think it's nice and warm, so he's like, here we go. Let's do it. Let's go and stand in the field and just have at it.
Foxes classically make such calming, lovely noises when they're doing it as well. Yeah. Oh my goodness.
Oh, but yeah, he's always there. Because I live next to a park, so they just have at it in that park.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's lovely.
It's just the wonderful sounds of British summer.
I'll tell you what, though.
Screaming.
I have a question for you, and I know my answer already. What is the weirdest noise that's ever woken you up without anything sexy?
Oh.
The weirdest noise.
The weirdest noise. I don't know. I think the one that comes immediately to mind, although it's not that weird because it's a standard sound, but there was a time when I was so full of cold that I woke up and I was like, what is that noise? And I realized it was me still snoring.
Oh my God.
And all I could hear was like, and I was like, what is that? I was like, oh, it's coming from
it's
inside
me.
my head. It's me.
Oh my God.
I was just so out, like, you know, when you have like a proper, like, feverish, horrendous cold. It was one of those. And I was just like, what am I hearing?
Like, oh, where am I?
Yeah.
So yeah, the weirdest thing that's woken me up, it was while I've been living in this flat. So maybe like a year or two after I'd moved in, if that. And I was woken up at about 4 a.m. by a sonic boom.
Oh.
Yeah, like a real one, not the TV show. And it was very odd. It was as if like aliens were invading. I was like, what the hell is going on? It started off with like a big like, and I was like, whoa. And then there was a shockwave and it shook all the buildings. And I was like,
gosh.
What the heck is going on? Am I awake? And I didn't know what it was. And I Googled it the next day. And yeah, I found out it was a sonic boom. And it was some sort of like fighter jet or something. I don't even know. But God, it was weird. It was so strange to wake up to. Because it's like, you know, we don't get really earthquakes and stuff here. It's not a thing but like, that's the closest I can imagine to waking up to an earthquake. Like the way that the buildings shook, it was so strange. But it was very cool.
We had an earthquake in the UK, or it wasn't in the UK, it was like felt in the UK. It was either 2007 or 2008. I think that was the last one.
Yeah.
That I remember. Because it was at like 2 a.m. or something, but I was at uni and I was still up talking to people online, as you do, party life. And I remember just everything like shook a little bit. And I was talking to someone who I think was up north. I think they were like Hull or something. And I was like, did you just feel that? And they were like, what? Oh. And then it just reached them at that time.
Oh my God.
It was
nuts.
Odd.
I've just found a website, earthquakes around the British Isles in the last 60 days. There's a lot of earthquakes.
I guess some must be just like so tiny that you don't.
There's a lot of baby earthquakes that you just don't notice. So the last one on this website was in Newport on the 27th of July, and it was magnitude 0.6. So nothing, little baby one.
Yeah.
The biggest one that I can see on here is magnitude 3, which is not small, really. I mean, it's not big, but you know, it's bigger than 0.6.
Yeah.
But that was in the central North Sea.
Oh.
Yeah. It was 235 kilometers east of Aberdeen. So nobody would have felt that. That's why the biggest one went unnoticed, I guess. But that's pretty cool.
I had a time where I was going out with, like in a long distance relationship with a guy who lived next to a train station. And my best friend at the time also lived next to a train station. And they were like the two houses that I would go to the most.
Yeah.
So I got used to, in both of those houses, every like half an hour or something, everything would just start shaking. Just because they lived like right next to the train lines. And I was like, how have I just found these people that just... Because I would always be like, oh, and they were just so used to it.
Yeah, they'd be like, what?
Yeah.
I was like that when I lived near Luton Airport. Like, people would visit my parents' house and be like, how can you live with all these airplanes flying overhead? And we're like, huh? Which ones?
Yeah.
You just shoot them out. You don't listen to them.
Can you sleep in silence? Because I've had times where we went to a wedding a couple of years ago that was over in Norfolk, and it was like in the middle of nowhere, and it was beautiful and it was quiet. And all of the like city people were like, it's too quiet. I can't sleep. It's weird. Whereas I was like, it's so quiet. It's beautiful. I love it. Like, Do you prefer?
Yeah, I can
quiet?
sleep anywhere. I don't care. I mean, where I sleep now, I don't tend to put on music and stuff. Like, I worry. It's silly and it's not a thing I should worry about. But if I get like my Alexa, oh shit, she heard me. Stop. To play music overnight, and I have an alarm set on it. I'm like, oh, what if it doesn't do the alarm? And same with my phone. I'm like, if I set an alarm on my phone and I play music on it, I'm like, but what if it doesn't do the alarm? Oh, so unless I just go out of my way to not worry about it, I don't really listen to music when I go to bed or ambient sound. I used to, but now I just don't really need to. I tend to just fall asleep quickly. I don't struggle to fall asleep.
Oh my gosh, you've just reminded me of something that happened the other day.
Oh.
I was alone in the house.
Yeah.
And I stood up, and at the moment that I stood up, randomly, Alexa just started playing like really raucous classical music, like proper like da, 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 like that sort of tone of music. And I was just like, why would you do that? Like, what?
Calm down.
Heck? Yeah. It's like, are you trying to terrify me? Like, why?
Oh dear. I don't know. Did you find that yours does a beep in the early hours of the morning or really late at night?
No.
You're probably asleep at the time because you're not quite as degen as me. But come around like 3 a.m. or sometimes earlier, they will like just go boop. And that's it. Mine does it as well just before it starts playing the alarm.
Yeah.
So you might notice it if they all do that. I don't know. But yeah, it just does that. So I'll be laying in bed, like relaxing, about to go to sleep, and it will just go beep. And I'm like, oh, what do you want from me? And I don't know. I just genuinely don't know what it is. If anybody knows what it is, hang on.
I think the creepiest thing ours has ever done is I was in the kitchen and I was talking to Alex about something, and I don't know what ours heard in the sentences that we were saying, but out of nowhere just went, "No, I am not going to hurt you." I was like, were you have you just reached this decision now? Excuse me? Like, what?
So apparently it's a routine to reset the volume, which I don't think I have, unless it's a default thing. But apparently it is a routine. So
do you
there we
have
go.
Whisper mode set on yours?
What, where you whisper to it and it whispers
and
back?
And they whisper back, yeah.
Yeah, hang on, let me try
I love it so much.
Alexa, how are you? Oh, I don't have it on.
I love just sitting and whispering to it. It feels so cheeky.
Okay, now whisper mode is on. Hell yeah. Thank you, Alexa. So I checked and it is a routine. There's a routine set in my Alexa app that is it's 3:56 a.m. It resets the volume. So there we go.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I'd be honk you Mimi by that time. I wouldn't hear it if that was the same on mine.
I never set that though, so I don't know why it picked that time, but there it is. If anyone ever has random beeps, that's the reason.
I'll tell you what though, I feel like I cannot claim good sleeping ness at the moment because we've got back into World of Warcraft.
What?
So the last couple nights I have been a dirty stop up. Jeez, not as bad.
I did not expect that. That was not on my 2024 bingo card. What?
I know. I've had people saying like, do you know how angry Riddian and Kirsty are going to be that you got back into WoW before Final Fantasy?
So true. How dare you?
But yeah, we just started playing it again, and so I've been staying up later than I normally do.
I'm telling Riddian, you're in trouble.
Well, technically, I already told you both because I did screenshot our characters and send them to you.
That's true. I thought that was just a meme. I thought that was just something you found on Reddit or something.
That was my confession.
Wow. And it was very indirect. Yeah. She was ashamed from the get-go. I'm telling you right now. I'm telling it.
But yeah, we have we chose to start in the like troll and orc place, and we've given ourselves motivational messages. So I am clean your teeth, and Alex is eat your greens, and Tom is stay in school.
Oh my God. I'm baffled. I can't believe this.
And then Trot is Trotimus.
Wow. Wow. How did that happen?
It was like, I left Tom and Alex to their own devices and they decided to play. And then they were like, oh, what if we all just got a month? And I was just like, oh, I really don't want to. And then I was like, well, fine if everyone else is. And yeah, I caved. I caved very early. I'll be honest. And we're doing classic. So it's like painfully, like all of the quest lines are just like, follow the road down to the left. We're not going to give you quest markers. Just listen to what I'm saying and find out. I was like, okay. So yeah.
Oh, I never played WoW. I probably made one character once and played for half an hour, but that's it.
I played back in the, like, I think it was when Mists of Pandaria came out. I played then.
Yeah.
For a bit. My main MMO though was MapleStory. That was the one that I was like really into. Which is funny because so many people say like that they play MMOs for the story and that's what keeps them invested.
Yeah.
MapleStory had, I don't think it had any story. There was nothing.
MapleStory 2D, was it kind of like if Gaia Online had an actual interface?
It was
That's kind of what I think of when I think of MapleStory. I never played MapleStory.
MapleStory is basically just like a cute platformer, but an MMO.
Yeah.
And it was painfully grindy. And I don't know why I played it so much, but I was obsessed with it.
I tried
it was literally like, it was like, okay, go and kill 100 duty heads. And you're like, okay. And then you get back and they'll be like, now kill 300 duty heads. And you're like, okay. But I guess it was just real, like, mindless podcast grinding type stuff.
I get it though. Number go up is a nice thing. I do enjoy number go up. But yeah, no, I never played MapleStory. I tried so many different MMOs when I was a kid. Like there was Flyff or Flyff, Flyff. I remember playing that.
Yeah.
Because just the flying mechanic was fun and I really liked it. There was another one that had...
Were you a big RuneScape person?
Yeah. I played RuneScape. I played Habbo. I played Conquer Online. That was a good one that I quite liked.
Just hit each other's conkers?
No, Conquer is with the Q.
Oh.
Conquer Online was an MMO where you had like Taoist characters, like, and you had different, I don't even know, I can't even like explain it, but it just had these big empty open worlds that had monsters in, and you just have to grind and level up by killing them and not dying.
Okay.
And
I love the idea of someone being in a playground playing conkers and being like, we need to take this worldwide. For those, I guess, is conkers a very British thing?
I don't know. Maybe. Anybody who's not British in the chat, let us know. Did you play conkers when you were a kid? For anyone who doesn't know what conkers are, yeah. Yeah,
you just get like a conker, which I guess, it's not a horse chestnut, is it? It's something different. But it's like
it is a horse chestnut.
It is a horse chestnut? Yeah. And you would like drill a hole through it and tie a string, and then you would just swing it at other people's conkers, and if their conker broke, they lost. But you would get all sorts of like cheating where people would like put nail varnish on theirs to strengthen it, and or like PVA glue and all of this stuff. There was a dark side to conkers that I never got into. It was too much for me.
It's like the conker doping scandal.
Yeah, the conker mafia.
God, there was a game that I've just remembered and I've just found it, called Sissy Fight 2000. Oh. I don't know if you ever played it, but it was a pixel game where you were in a playground and everyone was like a girl, like a schoolgirl, but like they just had these massive heads and these tiny little pixel bodies. And you were basically like fighting with the other girls. I can't remember.
What?
Hang on. I'm going to click this and see. Can I play it? Sissy Fighter name. Click here to create your Sissy Fighter. I can actually make one. I think I have to make an account though. Crige. But yeah, it was. If anybody ever played Sissy Fight, let me know. But it was just in a playground. You had characters that were schoolgirls, and they like looked really angry. They just like really angry children, and the aim of it was to just bully the other girls until you win. I think it was really
gosh.
Like it sounds worse than it is, but it's still a thing. It's still a thing. I can't believe that.
Jeez.
You wage playground battles of social dominance in games of 3 to 6 players. You begin with 10 self-esteem points, and when your self-esteem reaches 0, you're out of the game.
What?
Oh my god.
Hero dear.
There were so many little games like that. And there was MadeMarian.com as well, which had Sherwood Forest, and then the moon one where you could go and like moon jump all the way to Earth and stand on top of it. Oh, there were so many little garbage games that we would play when I was a kid.
I mean,
but I never played WoW.
No, that's fair dues. I'm not really an MMO person. I think I was for MapleStory just because it was like I was at university and I didn't have any friends. So it was like...
It sounds like there's not a lot of multiplayer to MapleStory though. Like it sounds like you just get tasks to grind, kind of.
Yeah, I mean, you could have like... I was in a guild and ours was the Pocky Guild. So depending on your rank, like the leaders were like Chocolate Pocky and I was Strawberry Pocky and stuff like that. I got married in it. I had a MapleStory wedding. I guess the thing with that one was that it was all free, but you could pay for cosmetics.
Yeah.
And I used to pay to have a dog that would follow me around.
Oh.
But I was like big into it. Like I had an actual like notebook that was my market ledger. And I would go around, if I had an item to sell, I would go around the market and see who else was selling it at what price. And I would make a note of it and I would mark it down and mark off what I had sold and all of this stuff. And like, I took it quite seriously for some reason. But I just, for the life of me, can't remember there being any story. It was just, the areas were really cute. Like there was a toy area where everything was toy themed and that was really sweet. And then you could like fly around to the different areas and stuff. It was very colourful and very basic.
Yeah.
Which is like me.
Oh. Oh, the other one was Adventure Quest as well. Adventure Quest was a banger.
Yeah.
Hopefully people listening will be like, oh my god, yeah, I remember that one. That's why I'm reeling off so many names. And Xenimus. God.
I remember like when you were, because obviously character creation in some games is like really detailed, whereas things like MapleStory, there's like you choose from 3 faces and then there's 3 hairstyles and 3 hair colors or whatever, and you get people coming up to you and be like, "Oh my god, you're so cute," and I'm like, "I have the same face as you. We just have different hair. What are you talking about?" But you just be that like, "Oh, thanks."
Oh, thank you so much.
I am pretty cute, aren't I?
It's me when I see a cat girl in Final Fantasy. They all look the same. Hot take, but probably not very hot. They are all the same. Dear, oh dear. I never thought like I would get into an MMO, like a proper MMO, like a WoW, or even Final Fantasy. But then I sank for 4,500 hours into Final Fantasy.
Yeah, well, I guess there's like the social aspect.
Yeah, well, even then, like we're sort of in a lull at the minute where a lot of people aren't logging on. Like Rydia might log in every now and then, but everyone else is sort of taking a break. Like they finished the expansion, or like certain people haven't started it yet and they're waiting a while. And I'm just logging in like, I'm just going to do my stuff. on my own. And it's just a comfort thing. It's like, I just like being logged in and just doing little odd jobs, you know? It's just a nice thing to do.
I'll tell you what my favorite MMO I ever played is Red Dead Online.
Red Dead Online was fun.
That was so good. Like, because we played it during lockdown when there was like, you were only allowed to leave the house once a day. So I used to just spend so long walking around the countryside on my horse.
Yeah.
And just looking at the sunset and stuff like that. I was just like, it was like touch grass online. It was really nice. Just, and then I remember spending New Year's. We all went to a tavern for New Year's and celebrated together. And then Nina started a fight, and we all people died, and it was great. Got kicked out.
It's so nice. Like, even like out of lockdown, because like just. I mean, I feel like it's the nature of a lot of people's jobs, but the nature of our job is that everyone is so far away from each other. You know, like you've got people like on mainland Europe, you've got people in like the US, you've got people all over the shop. And just being able to do something like that on like New Year's or Christmas and stuff is just so nice. Like last New Year, we were playing Fortnite when the bell hit. Like every hour on the hour in Fortnite, they would do fireworks like for every time zone, and like big 2024 in the sky, and it was just so nice. We got a screenshot. We were in a game, and we were right at the end of a squad game, so like 4 people, and it was just us and I think one other person, and then the 12 o'clock hit. For our time zone, all the fireworks went off, and the circle was really tiny, and the one guy that was left waited for all the fireworks to go off, and then went and died in the circle afterwards, and we won, and it was just like, yay! Happy New Year in Fortnite.
Oh, that's cute.
It was so nice.
I remember like watching the fireworks on Animal Crossing. Like getting people round and watching that for New Year's as well. That was sweet.
That was
and I
lovely.
remember when we went through that brief time of playing like VR games, and when I saw you in, what was it, Frisbee Golf, and just running over to each other and flapping our hands at each other, just like, hello.
Hello.
Because it felt like I was right next to you when you weren't there.
There you go. I've sent you a screenshot of Fortnite New Year.
It's beautiful.
Only 5 people left, and the 4 of us were alive. The other guy just waited.
The thing is, like, so many people who don't play games seem to think of it as like a really antisocial thing.
Yeah.
When
it's
so
really
many
not.
games like bring people together or allow people who aren't comfortable in, you know, the standard social settings to have those sort of interactions, and it's nice.
Yeah, exactly. Like if I wasn't hanging out with my friends on New Year's Eve, I would have been just sitting out in my room or in my flat on my own. Like, and it's just nice. It's just a nice way of just hanging out with people and connecting with them and making like nice little memories too. Like I'll always be like, oh yeah, New Year 2024 or New Year 2023 or whatever, which they're both sides.
Yeah.
I was in Fortnite with my friends and we watched the fireworks and then we got a victory royale.
Yeah.
And it was just so fun.
Nice.
It's lovely.
Would you like to hear a dream I had?
Yeah, let's listen to a dream
with my own brain.
Oh.
You're in it.
I'm in it? Me?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
This is a dreamception.
Wow.
You will see why.
Okay.
Okay, here we go. 3, 2, 1, go. I had a dream that I went to feed my pet wolves, and they lived in my parents' bedroom, and I was like aware that they weren't completely tame, so I was trying to be really careful with them. And at one point I was holding my hairbrush, and as a joke I sort of like held it out like a toy, and one of the wolves got really excited and I was like, oh, I should remember to buy them toys. And then
I realised that Jerry was in the room, so I was like, oh no, I have to get my little boy out. So I scooped him out and ran out the room with him. And then at one point I was talking to Ben and I was telling him about the wolves. I was like, oh, I should buy them some dog toys. I think they'd really like it. And then I was in this like big mansion. There wasn't a thing going on, but I don't know what it was. Because I remember saying to Kirsty, like, oh, I've had a dream, we can record. So we set up recording in the library, which was really tiny. It was basically like one table with all the, like the walls were just so many books. And we got halfway through recording and I was like, hang on, I didn't set my mic up. I've not actually been recording this whole time. And Kirsty was like, oh, it's fine. I've got that thing where it should have recorded both of us. It should be fine. And then we got called outside. I think there was a scavenger hunt going on or something. We were looking around for something. And then we were outside and I was like, oh my gosh, I wasn't recording any of that either. We've got nothing to show what we did. And then I was going back inside and there were suddenly all these like ladies sat around the table where we'd been recording. And they must have all been like in their like 70s, 80s. And they were sort of talking to themselves and being like, oh, did we sit down where she was? Should we be here? Sort of thing. And I was like, oh, I'll just pack up. And there was this little cabinet that had all these candles in, but they were all like silver, not silver, like brass candles. And I was trying to blow them out, and every time I blew them out, another one would light up. And I was like, how am I meant to do this? And then my dad came in. So I was saying to him, like, can't blow these candles out. And he was like, oh, let me do it. And then I woke up. The end. Bye-bye.
There you go.
There you go.
So when I said it was wolves, I knew in the dream they were meant to be wolves, but they just looked like really massive white shepherds rather than being actual wolves.
Cute.
And weirdly, the hairbrush that I handed to the dog is a hairbrush that I haven't had in like, I don't know, probably like 20 years.
Oh my
I used to have
God.
this pink hairbrush and I've not thought about that hairbrush for
Yeah,
ages.
for
And
years
all of
and
a
years.
sudden, there it was being handed to a wolf.
That's so funny.
But yeah, an
Huh.
odd one.
Yeah, it was a little short and sweet one. Classic not turning on the microphone when recording.
Yeah. I think...
Dare I say, stress dream?
Yay!
Woo!
Like, I think that part of it was because I had this dream literally like this morning, and I think I was aware that I didn't have any other dreams recorded. So I
Yeah.
think it was a bit of like, oh, what if I haven't got anything to record? What if I'm like not like what if we can't do it and stuff? So I think it was just in my head. I was like, it's okay, I'll just record a podcast right now, and then we've got one.
Yeah, just record it here and now. Oh, I didn't turn my mic on though. Whoopsie.
And I had the day before this dream, I went into the office to do a stream and I did have like big audio problems. So I think it's also to do with that.
Oh no.
Just the audio stress. For some reason, the mic was only coming out of the left side.
Right.
So yeah, I think it was partially just audio problem stress.
Yeah, for sure.
I looked up wolves in the dictionary, though. No, in the dream days, not just to find out what a wolf is.
What's a wolf?
And it says, it's sort of odd because it says Dreaming of wolves may indicate that we are being threatened by others, whether singly or by the pack. But then it goes on to say, the dreamer may have cruel, sadistic fantasies without taking responsibility for them.
What?
I'm like, what?
What does that mean?
Is that meant to be if you're like dreaming as a wolf or something? I don't know. But then to add another layer to this, there's a whole section that says the she-wolf, and it literally says the hussy, but also the carer for orphans and rejected young. Like,
the hussy?
I never look at wolves and think, slut. Like,
wow. Jeez.
Why is the book so judgmental of wolves? Like,
what does that? I don't even know how you would draw that conclusion. That's so odd.
Like, why would you think a she-wolf is a hussy? Like,
yeah.
Who hurt you, dream book
Who
author?
Hurt you? Do you not
Was
like
it
wolves?
a wolf?
What did she do to you?
Yeah.
I think wolves are lovely.
I think they're lovely.
I feel like as well, whenever we dream of animals and the book's like, it's got this bad, horrible connotation.
Yeah.
For us, it's like, we just like animals.
Yeah. I do
So
wonder
it's just nice.
if, so I think there's 3 possible things that I can say about the wolves.
Mm-hmm.
Because a lot has gone through my mind recently. Humble brag.
Okay.
I think
Humble
a
brag.
lot of anxiety thoughts.
Oh.
But so because it was Jerry that was in the room with them, it could either be that recently I've been thinking of maybe doing more bunny content online, like turning my YouTube into less of being about me and more about being about bunny care. And I was thinking, what if that, there's always this fear of when you put out something like that, of what if this attracts people who are mean? Because people are always, like, a lot of the time, 90% of people are lovely and just go, oh, what a lovely bunny. I'm a normal functioning member of society and I can appreciate this. Whereas you always get some people who are just like, I'm just going to make a cruel comment.
Yeah.
Because I am insecure.
Absolutely.
And
I think that's like especially a thing with like smallies and rodents. People, it's like a weird power thing.
Yeah.
It's very strange.
And so I think there's like that part of it where I guess, is it that it would feel like me handing out the bunnies is like putting them to the wolves of YouTube comments. I think also partially to do with, I have been, because I obviously do bunny streams on weekday mornings. And as Jerry gets older, there's been this thought in my head of like, at what point should I stop doing these? Because I don't want, like, I do care a lot about animal education. And obviously a big part of that is looking after them as they do get older.
Yeah.
But I also don't really want to just be like, it's difficult to describe, but you know what I mean? Like, I don't want, if he's struggling at any point, I don't feel it. Obviously he has no idea he's on the internet, but I think I would still feel wrong about that. I would want it to just be like, you know, remember him, how you remember him, and we're going to, you know, have our time now, sort of thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know exactly what you mean, yeah.
So I think it's partially that. And I think the third option is also, again, with the fact that he is getting older, just the fear, like the wolves are all the fears of things that could go wrong, like arthritis or, you know, echiniculi and just like that sort of stuff. It's just me wanting to protect him from all of these things that I can't really protect him from because it's just nature and that's life. Sadly. So yeah, I think essentially I'm just very protective of Jerry at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, I could have told you that. Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, I get it. I think you've said in the past as well, like you worry that you're using them for content when you're really not.
Like,
like you want to spread awareness, but you're like, at what point am I just doing this for content and not to raise awareness of the bunnies. And I don't think you would ever reach that point knowing you. Like, you were just all about the bunnies. And if there was ever a point where you're like, I don't think it benefits me or them or anyone to put them in a stream like this, like Jerry just needs to rest and blah, blah, blah. Like, you wouldn't push that.
Yeah.
Like, you would just say, like, guys, I'm not going to do it anymore. Like, Jerry needs a rest.
I've had times where if they've gone through something like gut stasis and I'm just like, they need to be left alone. I'm not doing a stream. I'm leaving them alone because I would be doing it for me at that point or for other people's benefit. But to be honest, like the morning streams, it's sort of been like, I think sometimes it can be difficult to put time aside to do things. And essentially, I am, chatting nonsense for an hour. But sometimes I'm actually just sat stroking Jerry for that entire time. And I'm like, this is nice to have that time with him, which is technically work, but really he doesn't know it's work.
Yeah, he just probably enjoy it. Like he absolutely would enjoy it. Yeah.
So yeah. I think that's what that part was about.
Yeah, I think you know what is right for your bunnies, and like if you were to, like, I'm not here like to lecture you. I'm just like, following up from the dream and stuff. But like I think it's you being hard on yourself for sure, which explains all the other stress stuff in the dream.
I think it's just one of those things that like, I'm just so aware of, when you get those streamers and you see them and they've got like, I think a lot of the time it's with cats.
Yeah.
If they're like grabbing cats because they're like, look at my cat. And you're just like, that is not a happy cat. Like,
that's the thing. Like I was going to say as well, like a lot of times I'll be streaming and people will say to me like, where's Tabs? And I'm like, he's under the bed because it's hot and I'm not going to go and get him. It's like, I want to see the boy. It's like, we're not going to see the boy. He is busy.
The boy doesn't want to see you.
If he shows up, then you will see him. But if he sleeps under the bed, that's where he stays. So it's just people get it. And if they don't, just tell them off.
I think one weird detail that I don't really understand and I didn't record, but the room that had the wolves in, I remember at one point having a specific thought where I was like, we used to keep panthers in this room and before that was llamas. I guess I know what happened to the llamas. It's just like, I don't know why that was a detail of the dream, but there you go.
The llamas they left. They went into a farm upstate. They're fine.
They said, I'll pack a bag and leave. I know that llamas and alpacas are different things before anyone comments. Thank you. Also, I've been thinking recently about how aren't you meant to always say one thing wrong to get engagement? Isn't that the YouTube how-to or the Instagram how-to?
That's my excuse.
So, I saw this lady.
Oh my gosh. I just remember something. You go first, but I was just going to say it up.
There's this lady who she's British. She's not Welsh. She's but I think she visits Wales a lot because it's bloody beautiful in Wales. But she occasionally does these messages where she pretends to be an American visiting Wales, and the number of comments she gets on those posts where people are just like, why did she, like, she did one the other day where she was at every time there's the double L, she pronounce it like Lala. So she'd be like, and she said, today I'm going to go up Pen Y Fen. And then she was like, on the way, I stopped at a little independent bakery called Greg's. I think Greg, she was like, I think Greg did a wonderful job with this. And all of this stuff. And people are just like, somehow, I guess they don't get that it's a joke. And they're like, I was like, just thinking,
you're so dumb and I need to correct you.
Yeah, I was thinking it must be so easy to fish for those sorts of comments. And there was that little like content creator brain moment of going like, maybe I should. I was like, no.
no. It's like the guy on TikTok and Instagram who is like, I'm going to do American versus English food. And he'll just spend the whole thing ragging on American food. And then you get all of the engagement because every American in the comments is just like, how dare you? It's so obvious that he's baiting them. Oh dear. But no, that it reminded me of something that happened on stream the other day. I, like you did too, but I had a bad neck recently. We've both been falling apart.
Yeah.
And yeah, I had a bad neck, and chat was talking about cervical support, as in like neck support. And I was like, chat, I got a bad neck. It's not my cervix. And they were just like, oh my God. And I was like, chat, what do you mean? What are you talking? I don't. Some of them were getting quite irate. They were like, no, that's the name for the area of your neck that hurts. And I'm like, huh? I'm like, my chair doesn't support my cervix, chat. What are you talking about? And then I just had to clarify. I was like, chat, I know what you're saying. I'm joking, please. Because they'll just think that that's just me. I'm like, no, please, I'm genuinely joking, please.
I think it's like occasionally I like to just really pronounce something wrong and then act very like blasé about it. And people are just there like, I mean, I guess it's like the asparagus thing all over again. Yeah. But usually things like archive is a good one. Mm-hmm. Epitome, like all the classics. You just see people in chat like, wait, is this a joke? Do I say something? I think the reason that there were the like little meeting in the library is I recently read a book called The Thursday Murder Club, which is about 4 septuagenarians meeting in the library and talking about murder cases. So I think it was just them making a little appearance in my dream. Yeah.
Cute.
And the reason I sort of paused awkwardly in the recording at one point is because I started describing what the library was like, and I was like, "You're just describing a library."
It's full of
like,
books.
It's got books up. It's
got books.
Anyway, so
it's quiet.
And I think the reason that we then went on a scavenger hunt is because last night before falling asleep, I watched an Instagram reel that was what's the name of the baddie in The Incredibles?
Frozone. No, sorry, not Frozone. Frozone's a good guy. Syndrome.
Yeah. Syndrome. I saw a video that was him running around, and the tagline for it was me as a fully grown adult taking the Stardew egg hunt too seriously.
Couldn't be me.
I almost sent it to you, and I was like,
like pushing the children out of the way.
Yeah. So I think it was just that. I think that's why we then went on a little scavenger hunt.
Aww.
I'd love to do a scavenger hunt.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever done a scavenger hunt.
Me neither. I was looking at because I just went to say I've tried to be deciding. I do it warm.
Just warm. Very warm.
I've been trying to decide like what we could do. As people have been very lovely and signed up to the Patreon, and now I'm thinking, how can I pay this back into an experience?
Ronnie's been sending me so many.
Oh my gosh, yeah,
hotels and stuff.
Just experiences, and one of them was Shrewsbury Prison, because there's an escape room and then you get to sleep over in the prison. I thought that could be cool. So I think that is also the sort of thing I've been looking at that inspired a scavenger hunt.
Mm-hmm. If anybody ever thinks of anything we can do, like little days out or experiences or anything that would be good to record, let us know.
Yeah. Because I've been... some of the stuff I've been looking up has just been like too far north. Like I would love to go to Madame or Mrs. Shipton's cave. Looked amazing. But it's like, I think it's up in Yorkshire.
Okay.
So a little bit far. Out of interest,
Yeah.
I looked up library in the book, and it says a library in a dream can often represent the storehouse of our life's experience. It can also represent our intellect and the way we handle knowledge. A well-ordered library would suggest the ability to create order successfully. A more chaotic, untidy one would suggest that we have difficulty in dealing with information.
How was your library?
I think it was quite neat, but it was literally like one tiny room. It was like there was about 1.5 feet on each side of the one table in the center, so there wasn't much space for chaos.
It was like a Minecraft enchanting table.
Yeah. I wonder what the candles were about at the end as well.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like, again, a sort of a stressy thing, because it was like you blow one. No, you were lighting one and the other one went out, or was it the other way around?
I was trying to blow the candles out.
Relit.
Yeah, they kept on coming back in. And at one point, I remember that, so they were basically like made of, they looked like big.
You said brass, right?
Yeah, like big brass lighters. And there was one that had a space for a cap. So I thought, well, I'll put the cap over it and that will snuff the candle out immediately. So I put the cap on it, and then for some reason I blew it and it just shot up this flame that was like 4 inches high. And I was like, well, how does that work? I was very confused.
Oh my God.
Okay, candle.
Well, what about fire? Look up fire.
Oh, well, I'm on candle. I'll read that out quickly because I'm curious. In pagan times, the candle or taper represents the dispersing of darkness and a way of worshipping power. To dream of candles indicates that we are trying to clarify something that we do not understand. I was just trying to blow it out. I don't want to understand.
In understanding, yeah.
No.
Just blow it out. Forget it.
I don't have to deal with it. Okay, fire. Fire in a dream can suggest passion and desire in its more positive sense, and frustration, anger, resentment, and destructiveness in its more negative. It will depend on whether the fire is controlled or otherwise on the exact interpretation.
It sounds like you were trying to control it and it was just spurting out in other places.
Yeah. To be more conscious of the flame of the fire would be to be aware of the energy and strength which is created. Being aware of the heat of the fire is to be aware of someone else's strong feelings. I don't really remember there being heat. It's just the fire itself.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. It says to dream of being burned alive may express our fears of new relationships.
What?
I feel like if I started a new relationship with someone and then had a dream about being burned alive, I might take that as a bit of a warning sign.
Yeah, maybe just like, maybe I won't do this.
Yeah, maybe I'm concerned about this one on a level I don't appreciate.
Thanks, brain. Maybe I'll just step back.
Jeez.
He burned alive.
Yeah.
God. It's a red flag if I've ever seen one.
Yes.
My goodness.
Dear, oh dear. Oh, that reminds me. There's this guy who I watch on Instagram occasionally. I can't think of his name, but he does these, he's very smart. He does a lot of like historical reels, but he's also started doing these ones that's like, you know when people say like, he's a 10, but he wears Crocs, or I don't know, whatever. And,
socks and Crocs.
Socks and Crocs. It's like that, but it's medieval style.
Okay.
So it'll be like them saying like, okay, so he's a wine merchant. And they're like, oh, a merchant could not come into my castle and stuff like that. And they're like, oh, but he owns land. And he's like, oh, well, if he's a landowner, he could cross the moat and stuff like that.
Oh my God.
And there's one bit where they're talking about, I think it is when they're talking about someone who's a wine merchant and they're just like, his banners, and they're like, red, no, crimson. And I was just like, what do they mean? And then I was like, oh, they're saying it's a red flag. Because I just didn't get it. I was like, why are they saying his banners are crimson? Like, what?
I love that.
And every time they're saying stuff, they're always like, oh, in sooth, verily, verily. And I'm like, I want to talk like this.
I feel like if ever I have to say red flag, be careful, it's going to have to be his banners.
Crimson.
I I have to remember that one.
Yeah.
I'm writing it down.
Dear, oh dear. I'll have to send you some of them. They are really good.
Yeah, you do. I need some nice content on my feed because my algorithm has just gone down the toilet yet again.
Oh no.
It's just insanity on my Instagram. If you walk in, it's like walking into a room and it's just on fire, and then maybe just walking back out because, geez,
Like the community pizza.
literally,
meme.
actually, yeah, it is just like the community. It's just, oh my god, it's wild.
Mine's
I've
actually
not been
started to
sending you any.
behave.
I'm gonna corrupt your algorithm by sending them all to you.
You're only doing it to yourself because it goes, oh,
I
she
know.
interacts with this one. It's like when I started sending you every pickle thing and then all I got was pickles for ages. And I was like,
Yeah.
I don't even like pickles.
Yeah, it's because I send them to other people because they're funny, and then people get back to me like, "Why are you sending me this?" And I'm like, "Yes."
You've opened it and you've watched it and now you're part of the problem.
Now you suffer with me.
Oh no.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I seem to have found myself in a good Instagram. Occasionally it shows me like something that it's like clearly trying to be like, huh? Maybe. And I'm
You
just
like
like,
this?
stop it, put it back.
No.
Drop. But yeah.
You know that you're in my part of Instagram. I say my part, the part that's been forced upon me. When you look at the comments and everyone's just like, mythical real pull, absolutely godly real pull. Can't believe I found, and I'm like, I find this is like the fifth time I've seen this one in my feed. Like people will comment mythical real pull as if they're like pulling like rare Pokemon cards or something.
Oh my gosh.
And oh my gosh, but every single reel is like mythical real pull, and I'm like, I think I've just hit the jackpot. I've got all the mythicals.
See, a lot of the comments on Instagrams that I see will just be people being like, I am the cause of my own algorithm. Everyone's just very
that too,
penitent.
honestly.
Like, my algorithm, I built it brick by brick, and yet I am here.
yeah, literally. And that's another one, actually, just the words of brick by brick.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah.
I got one the other day because there's like, it's difficult to describe, but there are some of them that I love. Like, there were these two German guys, and they're going down into a cellar, and it's just one of them filming the other one. And he's just like, he's speaking German, but he's saying like, come on. And then he runs off. And then it's just a constantly looping thing where they turn one corner, but then it's the same corner they turned around. And it's so well edited. And then at the end of it, and like the guy will keep appearing and be like, no, come on. And he's just following him for ages. And then at the end, he gets there and he's just stood in the final room looking really big and scary and stuff. And I just sit there and I'm like, why have I just watched like 2 minutes of this? Why have I done this?
Instagram is a dangerous place.
Yeah. It really
as is
do be.
YouTube, as is TikTok.
Yeah.
The biggest time sink.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Apart from this podcast.
Apart from this podcast.
So thank you everyone for listening.
Yeah, thanks everyone. Hope you've enjoyed listening to our ramblings. Next time I might have a dream. We'll see.
Yeah.
I'll try my best.
I need to get back onto being better at recording mine.
You always turn up with a dream. I don't know what you're talking about.
I feel like I've had so many that I've not recorded recently.
You don't have to record all of them.
All of them.
It's okay.
I'm going to create an archive of my mind. I had one the other day that I remember I woke up and I was just like, all I remember is there was something about socks. And I was like, is that enough for the podcast? No.
No. But I had a dream about socks. Wow. All right. Look it up in the book. Oh, vagina. Okay. Well, moving on.
Well, everyone, thank you so much for listening. And Kirsty, thank you for a lovely chat.
And thank you, Bryony. Thank you for a lovely chat. And thank you, everyone, for listening.
And if you want to hear some mini episodes, check out our Patreon, where there's, I think, 3 at time of recording. No, nay, 4.
Nay.
Verily.
Quite.
You can enjoy
Forsooth.
those too, forsooth. In sooth. The banners.
Crimson.
I was going to say green, but I can't think. What's that? Oh, emerald.
Emerald.
We have emerald banners here.
Lovely.
Well, until next time, everyone. Bye-bye for now. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.